What the fuck are these cunts? I've been waiting for fucking hours.
I am Thor, son of Odin, and I'm late. Sorry.
Great, cool. It's nice to have someone else here, but dude, what the fuck's with the pink cape?
Pink? I was told it was red.
Mate, that's as pink as it can fucking get. Jesus Christ, where the fuck is everybody?
It's red, and I have no fucking clue.
Oh, you guys got a fucking lighter? The fuck? Where have you been? Are you all in there? And you've just been like fucking with me this whole time?
By the way, it's not red, it's not pink, it's fucking gay.
Still doesn't open, mate. Yeah. I'm not really getting out of this. Just come back.
Who invited us here?
Fucking Hawk guy? I don't know.
Hawk who?
No.
Bommer?
Nah. Wait, what was his name?
Eagle guy?
That guy. The one over there.
Magpie Eye! Please let me on the team. Please. I can be useful. When you guys are stressed, I can ease it. I can just ease it out of you. I'll just jack you guys off and you'll feel much better.
I can help. What's that? What's up, fuckers?
Black
Widow!
Get out of here, you fucking
slabs!
You're a fucking disgusting! You're not even a part of my fucking organization! This is fucking shit!
I'm the one that gives out the blowjobs, not you! Not you!
Fuck off!
You'll never get this!
You're a
You'll never get this!
bitch!
You guys are just fucking jealous that I can grow an actual beard and use can't. Pussies.
I'm glad we took care of that problem.
That was a close one,
That was nearly defeat.
Yeah, I really don't like to have it that close.
I hate women.
Very close.
Basically an infection.
Fuck. Oh yeah! Boy! The fucking green man on drugs is here!
Shrek!
Beard! Where's the drugs? Good evening, gentlemen.
Fuck yeah!
Big dog!
Yeah! Yeah!
Green man on drugs, good to see ya.
Where the fuck are drugs?
I know, look, we're the fucker that brought us here.
No,
Yeah, mate.
I got a message from Eagle Face telling me to be here.
Me? I wasn't even gonna be here. I just
Magpie guy,
love
what
you
the
guys.
fuck, dude?
See? No. I was standing over here the entire time. I've been stalking you guys for like 2 months. Not a single invite. The entire time.
Alright, so it wasn't you. It must have been you.
No.
Convincing. It was you then. Who the fuck did bring us here?
Was it?
Hang on.
I did. It's me, Blind Fury, and we don't have much time. I've assembled you because you're the best.
This way.
I've assembled you because you are the best. You're Australia's mightiest heroes. There was an idea to bring a group of subpar middle-class Australian citizens to be more than just bogans. The Earth needs you. Tony Spank, genius, entrepreneur, and part-time pimp. Captain Australia, our truest blue Aussie. The Hammer, a tool, an experiment gone wrong. And Green Man on drugs.
Magpie Eye. I wasn't invited, but I'm here anyway.
Aussies, assemble!
everyone, welcome back to the cinema. I hope you all enjoyed that. It's taken a while, but we are here, wrapping up phase 1 with the Avengers. Before I begin, I have a message from my personal YouTube contact that I would like to show you first, so check it out, take it away. Hello everybody, I am Dr. Delphine, or Rancher Delphine. You can call me either one, I don't mind, just don't call me late for dinner. So, little joke for you. Before I begin, I would like to thank Mr. Blake Bommer for having me here today to talk to you about his YouTube channel and statistics. I would also like to state for the record that I am in no way associated with my niece, Belle Delphine. Her methods for making content are completely unethical and go against every single one of our business practices here. Today I'm here to talk to you about how 95% of the people that watch the channel are not subscribed. Thankfully for you today, I have been allocated a special time bracket of 5 seconds to allow you to do so. Here we go, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, if my math serves me correctly, the YouTube subscribe counter should have gone up by at least 2. Thank you everybody so much for your time here today, and hopefully you will not have to ever see me again. Goodbye. Wow, I think that was very well said by someone that's definitely not me. Anyway, let's just get into the Avengers. So let's start from where it began. Back in the summer of 2012, well, it was the summer in America, but it was winter here in Australia. Isn't it weird how the world works? So it was hot with anticipation, or freezing depending on where you were living, and it was the movie that everyone had dreamed of happening. You know, no one thought this thing could actually happen. We had these teasers and all these movies that were alluding to it, and we really weren't sure if this was actually going to come to fruition. I mean, if it did, it could be a massive disaster. Is Marvel really going to put all their chips on this and bank on it? And hey, if it failed, I would fucking, you know what, I would still praise the shit out of them for taking a massive swing and a miss, because that takes some serious balls. So at the time, I can see how this looked like a bad idea, or how a lot of people could think this just would not work, because prior to this, superhero films were always a hit or miss, you know. Spider-Man 2, phenomenal. Spider-Man 3, a lot of plot points going on, and it made the movie ultimately a mess. And so with this, trying to inject 5 or 6 different protagonists in one spot and have them all balance out, I mean, I can't imagine the pressure that was on them to get this right. But against all the odds, you know, I know, the film made $1 billion, you've seen it. It was a success. They balanced out everyone. It was an incredibly fun time for everyone that went to see it, and it's really nothing short of a miracle that we got it, and got it as good as it was. Let's talk about the cast real quick. Robert Downey Jr. I feel like is the only one I have to say the least about. I mean, he just kills it here. He brings his best from Iron Man 1 and 2 and is exactly what you'd want to see. Chris Evans as Captain America is solid as hell. I feel like this was the only Avenger that Marvel hadn't really figured out how to get right yet. His own solo movie was really good, but hard to bring him to the 21st century and not as campy with the full costume and whatnot. You know, I feel like they were close, but not there just yet. But Chris Evans, when he's not, you know, wearing the cowl and he's having just dialogue-driven conversations, he carries scenes well, especially with his, like, aggression towards Tony. It makes for a really good and compelling character instead of kind of, I'm Superman, I'm just a Boy Scout. Chris Hemsworth, my man, represents Australia. He's great here as Thor. They made his godlike voice and you humans are tiny. They made that not seem stupid amongst everyone, and it blends really well. I love that he's given personal ties to the villain in Loki, so that the villain's not just one-dimensional. So it brings a fair amount of new stuff to the table. Speaking of villains, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, I forgot how much I really enjoyed this performance, because he riffs off each Avenger very well, and he's evil. Man, like, there's so many supervillains nowadays that are cracking quips, and it just feels too safe then and non-threatening, you know? Loki has the one scene where he's imprisoned in the helicarrier talking to Black Widow about splitting Hawkeye's skull after all these horrible acts, and it's brilliant, you know? From the moment you first see him with his crooked smile through to the very end. I could really appreciate how dark and evil he can be. It's nice to have a villain that's a villain, you know? It's really nice to see Black Widow here with some more development other than I'm just fucking hot. She brings it in this movie, and she's a real standout amongst the Avengers. I'm looking forward to seeing the Black Widow film, but really I feel like the time has passed. Still, Scarlett Johansson does a stellar job in this film and can really hold her own against the boys despite having no powers at all. Scarlett, if you're watching, call me. Pretty sure she's got a husband actually, let me just check that. Oh fuck, she was married 3 times. Shit, and she's got kids too. Damn, well never mind. So Hawkeye is in the movie. Hawkeye, for the most part, is taken out of the film, and I can see why. You've got enough characters to juggle as it is, and he's kind of sacrificed for more screen time of the Avengers just getting to know one another. Thankfully, he's given a lot more in Age of Ultron, but that's not what I'm here reviewing today. But Jeremy Renner, I mean, when he wasn't like mind controlled, he was good. Hulk. My baby, my favorite Avenger. At 12 years old, I left the cinema, and one of my first thoughts was, why is the Hulk so fat now? Mark Ruffalo does a good job here, but he just lacks the dimension that Norton brought to it. Thankfully, Joss Whedon still gave a shit about this character and really made him a last resort and built that up and made him a fan favorite for people after they left the film, after he completely obliterates Loki. Definitely a standout when you're 12 years old. But I also, even at 12 years old, had a keen eye for the references being thrown to the Incredible Hulk. Like the last time I was in New York, I kind of broke Harlem. Or the cooler one where he's referring to the deleted opening scene from the Incredible Hulk where he puts a gun in his mouth and the other guy spits it out. Which I love that they put it in. Because Marvel saw what Norton's idea was and has gone, yeah, that is really good, but we can't. It's gotta be PG. Whedon picked it up though and he's made that shit canon. Thank you. Norton and Marvel ultimately split because Norton wasn't really a massive team player. He was one to, if he's going to accept a film, he's going to get on board and he's going to make this the best film possible. Marvel don't want someone that wants to make a brilliant, in-depth film with a lot of logic. Marvel wanted to just make a film that's just a shit ton of fun that you don't have to think about. They wanted someone that would sit there and just read their lines how they're told and not to interfere. So that's where Mark Ruffalo came into the picture. And Mark Ruffalo's good, as I said, but man, I can't help but wonder what it would have been like to see Norton in some of those scenes. It could have been insane. So we get to see Samuel L. Jackson kick some ass this time, which is great. And we get to see the SHIELD helicarrier. Boy, were my fanboyisms going through the roof at that point. I absolutely love the design. I love that all the exterior shots were done on an actual runway. So everything looks legitimate, you know, where nowadays they would just be completely on a stage. Like when they're on Titan or somewhere, nothing's real. But yes, I love the design. I think it's the best thing they possibly could have done with taking it from what it was in the comics. How I Met Your Aunt Robin is here too. Thankfully, I watched the show after the movie, so I wasn't just seeing this the whole time.
Bracelets and your cool graffiti coat. After all, having fun is what it's all about.
So Agent Coulson returns just to die, but not to die because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because he's resurrected using Kree shit or some... Look, if that's a spoiler to you, that's your own fault. This movie came out over oh shit, it almost came out over a decade ago. Feel old yet? The VFX are still stunning to this day. They have barely aged at all. There's some brilliant scenes like when Hulk's fighting Thor in the helicarrier and you see Hulk tense up and you see his traps and everything, his muscles contract. That shit looked great. It looked almost photorealistic, and that's a massive achievement for the unsung heroes of the film. The score for the film, which is now iconic, at the time I wasn't massive on. I heard a fan-made score before seeing the movie, and I thought that was better than what we finally got. However, as each film has gone on, it's become more iconic and better for me each time. It's now goosebump inducing, but it's probably for the best that it's not overpowering and taking over just the visuals of what you're looking at in the climax of the film. I love that this film kind of fulfills every fanboy wish you'd have about the Avengers, and especially coming together in live action. Like what would happen if Thor's hammer hits Captain America's shield and stuff like that. I think what I really like and admire about this film the most is its sense of urgency. At all times it feels like anything could happen and people could die. You know, the Chitauri attack on New York, this is it, this could be the end. And I guess it was for Marvel at the time, considering that if this flopped there wasn't going to be any more. And it's not just the action sequences between that, when it's just dialogue driven scenes. the sense of urgency all of the time, it just gives this film weight and gravity. Joss Whedon really pulled it off in this one. It's bright, it's colourful, it's original. They completely destroyed New York and they somehow balanced out every single one of these characters, and it deserves praise just for that. It's also one of very few movies for me that go by like this. It goes really quick despite it being longer than the average film. I would dare say that without exaggeration that this is one of the best films of the genre ever. And it's a fan's dream come true. Even as of when I'm recording this 9 years after it came out, it hasn't lost an inch of rewatchability. For sure, it doesn't have anything really deep or profound to take away from it, but a film doesn't need that for it to be good. It's just a great, fun time. So The Avengers, for the first time on my channel, will receive my highest grade, a 10 out of 10, with Blake's seal of approval, a must-watch in your lifetime. It is a miracle that this movie is as good as it is and as it was when it came out back in 2012. And that, everybody, is phase 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. 1 phase down, 2 to go. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I've missed on these Marvel movies that I've just talked about. I'm sure I'll get to talk about them a bit more in the future. If I could go back and change anything, I'd change the grade that I gave The Incredible Hulk. My fanboyisms were getting to me a bit much. It's really an 8, not a 9, but it retains its seal of approval. Sorry for the long wait, everyone. I wanted to do this right. If you haven't already, consider subscribing because I might just kill Dr. Delphine. He's still chained up in my basement. If you've made it all the way through to the end of the video, you're a bloody legend, and hopefully I can see you next time when we start phase 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Iron Man 3. Thanks again, and hopefully, I can see you next time. Bye, guys.